Hi, I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And welcome to Rediscover, a space where we engage in authentic conversation about life as we grow through it and whatever comes up along the way.
Nothing is off the table here. We talk about the real stuff, the hard stuff, the beautiful moments, and everything under the sun.
Around here, we're always rediscovering, sharing empowering stories, and connecting our hearts and minds with every facet of life.
We invite you to be part of the conversation as we broaden our perspectives, release limitations, and grow to create our most joyful and fulfilling lives together.
So grab a cup of something cozy as we rediscover all the best parts of you
and bring a little magic into your day.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jess.
Hi, I'm Kristen.
And welcome back to this month's episode of Rediscover.
We appreciate your patience. We know we moved this one back a week as per my request, actually. There was just a lot going on the week that we were supposed to record. And I was like, I need to get all these ducks in a row before we record so that I can actually share updates and kind of feel like I have it together. And honestly, my brain was so chaotic that week. I was like, just if we record, it is not going to be coherent. So it was just one of those weeks where so many things are happening and everything felt kind of unsettled. But we are settled now, and it is Taurus season. So we are grounded. We are zen. We are celebrating somebody's birthday.
Oh my gosh.
In case
it's 508 week. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's 2 days after, but it's a good season. This is one of my favorite weeks of the whole year.
Yay. I love that your birthday has been dubbed 508 day, and it's like,
I don't even know how this happened.
I feel like, was it Taylor or Krista or somebody in your life? I think it might have been.
It must have been. I feel like it was probably around like VIP tour time. I know that I threw a birthday party that year, like when I turned 25, I think. And I think I titled it like 508 or something like that.
Okay.
So it might have been Taylor. She usually dubs things like that, or one of the friends, yeah. Or it might just be an inside joke from my Instagram handle. I don't know. It's just, I love it though. I like having it's a bit, it's like a little thing you can come back to. And it's like one of our internet inside jokes. So super fun. I just recorded a whole YouTube video diary vlog, like recounting the whole day, what we did, all the activities in Cape Town, the ups, the downs, all of it. So I literally just posted that before we started recording.
I know, I saw that. I was like, wait a minute, her birthday was 2 days ago. How did she already get this done?
She had a quick turnaround time. Did I have time to do it? It's questionable, but we made time, so it's all good.
I am impressed.
Thank you. So yeah, if you want to hear about all the birthday details, definitely go watch that video. But the short version is we did a hike on Lion's Head in Cape Town. We went out for some bomb bagel sandwiches for breakfast. Then Stephen planned a whole special afternoon and evening, incorporating like a beautiful spa and a little hotel stay, which was really fun. But then I had a stomach flare, so all the nighttime plans got canceled, but we made up with it for an afternoon tea the next day. So it was a elaborate day and a half.
That sounds amazing. I love that he planned all that for you.
Oh my gosh, I kept crying. I mean, it wasn't that bad. I got to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine in a comfy bed, so.
That is your show right now, huh?
Oh my God, I didn't realize.
It's so funny.
It's so funny. When would I ever watch a cop show? When would I ever watch a show about sports? Ted Lasso. When would I ever watch a show with violent stabbing? Game of Thrones. It makes no sense. But here we are.
This woman.
I don't know.
Oh man, Anthony and I've watched Ted Lasso all the way through at least twice now. I love it.
Yeah.
For those of y'all who don't know, I know we talked about how I got a job finally at the beginning of March. I don't think I said what it was or where it was, and I think I can say that now for several reasons, but not that I was trying to withhold information. I just kind of wanted to have a minute to settle into it before I really talked about it, Anyway, so I've been working for Little Words Project, which if you all, this is not sponsored, by the way, obviously that would be a huge conflict of interest. For those of you who don't know, Little Words Project is like the original word bracelet. A lot of people think Taylor Swift founded it. That's not true. A lot of people think this company was formed by people who were like trying to piggyback off her popularity. Also not true. Little Words has been around for over a decade. And it was started by this girl kind of like out of her parents' basement. And her dad was actually her first investor, which is so cute. But it's just like, you know, mantras and positivity and kindness. And each bracelet has like a little connection code that you can register your bracelet. So if you pass it on to somebody else, like you can kind of follow your bracelet and see where it
Oh
goes
my
in the world.
gosh.
Yeah. So
That's
if you like,
cool.
you know, give someone that says like resilience on it, because you had it for a while and it served you for a time and now you feel like they need it because maybe they lost a job or something happened, you can pass it along to them and then you can see where it goes if they pass it along to somebody else. And so it's kind of like paying kindness forward, which I think is super cool. But you can also do customs and make your own, and we do get like a certain amount of beating time just as employees. So I made one, and it's not technically a Ted Lasso quote because he's quoting Walt Whitman. And it's when they're in the pub and he's playing darts with Rupert. And he said, like, his dad always like quoted Walt Whitman at him and said, "Be curious, not judgmental." And that like just hit me in a different way. And I was like, I want to make a bracelet that says it. So I did like the AFC Richmond colors and some like cute yellow smileys. And I made a bracelet that says, "Be curious." And I jokingly told Anthony. So when Anthony came down to visit me, he came and sat at, it's called our beating table. So basically you can come and make your own bracelets, and sit at our beating table. And there's like a sign that says you can sit with us, and like you get to pick out all your colors and you just sit and you make yourself a bracelet. Or you can make it for somebody else. But Anthony came and sat and made them for his goddaughter and his niece and nephew. But he also made a couple for himself because we have some like, not that you need to, but like obviously as a hetero man, he like wanted the more like masculine beads, which we have, like lava beads and stuff. So he made one that says "We Chef," and then I was like, you should make one that says "Date Your Wife" because Roy Kent. Remember when he's like in the cab trying to get to where they play, not like the stadium, but
I was gonna say the stadium.
Nelson Road. That's what it's called. He's trying to get back there really quickly, and he gets in the cab and he's like giving the cabbie like a ton of cash, and the cab driver's like, "Oh, it's my anniversary. My wife loves cash. This is perfect," or whatever. And then he gets out of the cab and he like knocks on the hood of the car and he's like, "You got to date your wife, brub," or whatever, and like walks away. So Anthony made one that says "Date Your Wife."
Oh, that show is like, it's full of so many one-liners.
So
It's
quotable.
so wholesome. That
Mhm.
show is, it's a 10 out of 10. I
Yeah.
love it so much. I'm glad you guys are onto it too. It's so
Oh, we
good.
love it.
And honestly, like once the last season ended, I canceled my Apple TV Plus subscription. So like guys,
Yeah.
if you want me back on Apple TV, you're gonna have to do another season because I'm not subscribed right
Yeah.
now.
It's
Sorry,
so
Apple.
hard without, I guess, without spoilers. It'd be so hard to do another season. It feels like they really like put a
It
bow
would.
on it, you know? I
I
don't know.
know.
I
I like
want
don't
another
want
one
another
too.
season. I don't because I think it was a good like closure, but I also
Mhm.
do because I am not ready to be done yet. I
Yeah.
heard like, not that this had any truth to it, but I think after the last season ended, people were like, they should do a spin-off show with like the other characters. So like I could
Yeah.
see them in that direction just to like keep a lot of the cast, but maybe not have Ted be
Like
in
Jason
it
Sudeikis.
anymore.
Because he was
Yeah,
executive producing too, so he could still have that role and not, he could still be involved without being like on
right. Right, right,
the
right.
screen.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would
We'll
be into
see.
that.
I'll take anything. Like I like that cinematic universe. It's a good one.
Who's your favorite Ted Lasso character? I think this is
That
very
is
telling about
so
people.
hard. Okay, I loved Roy and Keeley together. So
Me
like
too.
I really loved both of them, still do. So I'm like not okay with, the back and forth, but also Rebecca, badass. I freaking
She's my
love her.
favorite. I love her.
Yeah.
I love her. I
She's
love
so
how you
amazing.
start out really disliking certain characters and then you love them. Like I love Jamie. I agree that I love Roy and Keely together, but I love Jamie. And at the beginning, I hated him. I was like,
Hated him.
little prick, you absolute frat trash of a human being. You are a disgrace. Um, and then by season 2, I loved him. And I've just never introduced anyone to that show who didn't love it. It's just so much humanity, and
Yes.
it's incredible.
Yeah, they
Absolutely
don't
worth
make
it.
a lot of shows like that.
No, they don't. They really don't. It's so unique. It's so uplifting to watch. And I think it is absolutely worth, like, doesn't Apple TV do like a 3 months for free thing sometimes?
I think so,
I think
yeah.
they do.
Or check
So
on Black Friday
yeah,
sales.
it's worth like looking into, even if it's just for like, because it's only 3 seasons, so you can get through that in a month easily.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny because there are some shows that I'm like, that show needed to end. That's good. We don't need another season. Like Friends, Friends is beautiful and
Yeah.
perfect and didn't need anything else. But some shows I'm like, no, I could do another.
Yeah. Could do a little more.
A little more. I'm gearing
Yeah.
up for the new season of Bridgerton, and I am not sorry.
I'm hyped for you. I need to get on this train. I have it downloaded on my
Gotta read the books.
devices. Mm.
Oh, so in 2020, when the first season was out, I introduced my mom to the show. And I was like, Mom, just a heads up, there's a lot of naked people. And she was like, I'm a nurse. I've seen it all. At least these ones will probably be attractive. And I was like, you're not wrong. So we watched the first season, and people are like, you watched it with your mom? That's so weird. I mean, again, she's just very like desensitized to like human bodies because of being a nurse for 40 years, but it really wasn't weird at all. And then she got super into it, and she was like, wait, there's books. And so she just like immediately orders them all on Amazon and just starts reading them. So we're like
Aw.
passing them back and forth, reads all the books, the sequels, the prequels, the spin-offs about other characters. There's like 20 something books by this author
Oh my
about
gosh. I did not know
this like
this.
universe. Yeah, it's not just about like the Bridgerton kids. It's like all of these other things adjacent to it, and there's like 4 prequels. It's crazy. But then my sister got into it and read all the books. Like everyone, my grandma, she like gave them to my grandma. My grandma was reading through them. So funny.
Oh, grandma.
Um, it's so funny. But yeah, and they're just like easy reads, right? Like you can get through them quickly. They're super light. They're super great for summer, I think, if you want just like a beach read.
I love a good show. I know I'm prepping up we're leaving Cape Town in a couple days, so I'm prepping up for my long flight and like downloading all the things. So
You should
I have
well,
Bridgerton downloaded, but I also have several things downloaded, so we'll see if
yeah.
I get to it.
I would
But
say it just depends like who you're near. Well, I don't know if you'll be near anyone on the plane, but like
yeah, I know.
because
That's
Bridgerton's
what
a
I was
little
thinking.
uncensored at times.
Maybe I'll watch I want to watch the new Anne Hathaway movie. I heard it's very good.
Yes. Is it on?
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
I
I
got
didn't know we were going to go into a whole television
I
discussion
didn't
here.
either. I'm so
Surprise, everyone.
surprised. I mean, it started what? I started talking about little words. Oh, my Ted Lasso bracelet. That's how we got there.
Yep, yep, yep,
Honestly,
yep.
y'all, a lot of Rediscover is just us figuring out where the devolvements happened. Like, how did we digress this far?
It's fun. It's all fun. But I did want to circle back to the beginning of our conversation. So I know we pushed back a week because we
Yes.
were sorting some things, and
Yes.
I don't even know these updates yet. So I wanted to give you some
Yeah.
space to go into that.
It's okay. So there's just a lot going on right now. Obviously, wedding planning is still underway. It has gained momentum just very quickly. The update is that we have our photographer booked, our videographer booked, our DJ
Ooh.
booked, our catering is like in the works. It's like essentially booked, but it's just like people that we know, so they're not like here's the contract yet. So we're sorting that out still, but it's well underway. Photographer, videographer, DJ. Wait, I have a list, obviously. Um, oh, florals are done, which I think they were done last
Yay.
time. Yeah.
Are you doing them with Jesse?
So
Yay.
the person who is doing my wedding florals is actually somebody who Jess and I went to high school with, who was your very good friend in high school. Somebody
Yeah.
like I was friends with basically through you, but yeah, she's like rocking it in this business now. She has like the coolest like flower truck situation that she takes to events and whatnot. And she just does like wedding florals and event florals. And she's got this like vibe that I was really looking for, but didn't know how to put into words. And then I just happened to like rediscover her basically because I knew that she had this business, but I had like forgotten to think about her because she doesn't necessarily live in our immediate area where like the wedding is going to be. So I reached out to her and was like, hey, do you like travel a little? And she was like, yeah. Okay, perfect. So we ended up having like an hour and a half long phone conversation and just catching up on life. And it
Aw.
was so nice. And just to like hear her cute little voice and everything. Um, but yeah, I feel so good about it. She's like so excited and
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see
yeah,
this vision because
she
I
put
know her
together,
style
yeah,
well from high school, and I know your style now,
yeah,
especially. So I'm excited to see that
yeah.
unfold. That's gonna be
She
amazing.
put together this beautiful proposal with like everything in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is like everything I
I
did.
love that she went into flowers.
Yeah,
You know,
it's so
'cause she was studying to
beautiful.
be a nurse. Is she still a
Yeah.
nurse?
I think probably technically, yeah. I think she just kind of
Yeah,
pivoted. I don't know that
love that
for
for her.
sure, but yeah. Yeah, so that's done. My wedding dress should be in like by July, so then I can
Holy
start doing
cow.
alterations. We are making progress on our wedding website, which we had to kind of put on hold for the
Ooh.
moment because other stuff is going on. Um, I've picked flower girl dresses. I have bridesmaid dress samples literally coming to the house today to try on so I can decide like what color fabric styles I want to put in my little showroom. So then all the bridesmaids can like pick from that and decide what they want and kind of like claim their style.
That's so cool.
And yeah, yeah. So and I've started slowly like buying little gifts for like bridesmaid boxes because here's the thing you don't think about. You're like, oh, I can get like, you know, cute little things. And then you're like, oh, but I want to customize it so it has like this on it for them. And then you're like, well, now I have to buy 8 of those. And you're like, oh, this is really expensive. So trying to like every week get a new thing and slowly put them together because obviously I have time. But I also want to get everyone gifts that are actually like utilitarian. I think a lot of bridesmaid gifts end up being like something that says like bridesmaid or bride tribe or bride squad or whatever. And you really can only wear that for that event. And then it becomes like a sleep shirt or something you just like don't really, you know, it ends up at the bottom of a drawer somewhere. So I really wanted to find things that felt like actual gifts that are like useful and people will be able to, you know, enjoy outside of just my wedding. So working on
I
that. And
love that.
yeah, Etsy's been
Yeah.
great resource for all that, especially anything like obviously that I want to customize. So yeah, it's been good. The list has been great. Anthony has taken so much initiative, like
Love
reaching
to
out
hear
to
it.
vendors. He took care of the DJ thing like almost entirely on his own, reaching out to people, having the phone calls. He's been like so much more involved than I feel like most grooms typically are. Because I was like, you can be as involved or not as you want. I am a planner and I am like on this. So this is
Yeah.
like
Aw.
my happy place. If you don't want to be involved, I got it. I feel very confident in my ability to do this. But he's like, no, I want to be involved. I'm like, okay, then I'm gonna start delegating. We like corporate talk to each other a little now, which is fun. I'm like, okay, just circling back. Like, did you get an estimate from this person? And I'm like, okay, here's your action item.
Oh my gosh.
I no,
Honestly,
literally.
though, I love that. That's so funny.
It's
But like
funny.
that's a good way to navigate it. And it's a good opportunity to like work on teamwork because obviously marriage is a partnership. You're
Mhm.
becoming a team, you're becoming one. So it's nice to have this opportunity. Why not deep dive into something like this that has so many moving pieces and see how you work together? I think it's a
Yeah.
great opportunity
Yeah.
to do that for
Especially
sure.
if we ever do end up working together in the future, you know,
Yeah.
professionally, because that's always something we've kind of kept in the back of our minds. But yeah,
Those food people.
it is. So he's like learning what anyone who's ever worked with me like already knows, which is that I am an over communicator and I will follow up and I will circle back until you're like, oh my God, give me a minute.
So many circles,
Working
Kristen.
on it. Because I'm like, we got to close the loops, you know?
Oh my gosh.
It's really funny though. And he's
Not my brain thinking back to your Disney days and Belle being like, hello, circling back.
just circling back with you. Would you like
circling back, Lumiere?
would you like a photo? Oh my
Anyway.
God. Yeah, it's been fun though. It's been an adventure, but we're definitely like at kind of a point where we've gotten a lot of the big stuff done. Like those are like all the really big vendors. So now we're kind of like getting to pivot to the details, and we have to still figure out, it's not just the wedding. You have to do the rehearsal dinner, you have to do the shower, you have to do your bachelor and bachelorette thing, and like
there's so many things.
Yeah, so we're kind of trying to like, we kind of month blocked it, like, okay, from this month to this month, like we want to work on these things, and then from this month to this month, let's pivot our focus here, just so we don't get overwhelmed, but we know that we have something we can be working on. Yeah, so that's helped a lot too. And this must sound insane to so many people. And like, it's not like I'm planning some 400-person wedding.
Very organized. Well, it's good to spread it out too.
And then I also kind of want to get to a point where I'm like, everything's done. Now I just get to enjoy
Yeah.
it. Like, I do want to get to that place where I can take my hands off of it. Like, we've done the due diligence. We're not just like, oh, this person seems good. Like, by hiring vendors that you trust or people that you know, you're leaving it in good hands so that when the time comes, you can be like, you do the thing that you do. I now just get to enjoy it. But yeah, that's that. So we've kind of put some wedding stuff on hold for the moment because a few weeks ago, maybe almost a month ago now, I kind of got a phone call really out of the blue with a job opportunity. And because I'm a Gemini and everything in my life happens in twos, I didn't have a job for 8 months. And then, of course, as soon as I get a full-time job, somebody's like, hey, do you want a full-time job?
The energy shifted because the resistance was loosened and then it came in. Okay. Do tell.
So this job opportunity came to me and I was like, okay, this is a big ask. It involves moving. And I was like, you're not just asking me to take a job, you're asking me to uproot my life and move. And I'm not opposed to doing that. There are like some things that I need if we're going to do this, because I am a woman who's very bad at advocating for myself, especially professionally. However, if the last 5 years have taught me anything, it's that that's just not going to fly anymore. And that
It's
nobody,
no longer your identity.
right, nobody's going to advocate for me unless I advocate for me. And so I have to be willing to take the risk, say the scary thing, have the hard conversation, and put myself out there, which is kind of what I did. And it's not kind of what I did. It is what I did. Good Lord, Kristen, will you just like stand in your own power for 2 seconds? Thank you. And
it's a good rediscover, recentering moment.
Yeah. So we had a follow-up conversation and then another one with another person. And basically everything that I was like, well, this might be a deal breaker, or this is what I need. They were like, okay, if it's a deal breaker, no big deal. Like all of these things, they were just meeting my every ask. And I wasn't being, greedy or anything like that. It was just really practicality stuff. I was like, if we're going to do this by this time, this is what I need. And they agreed to everything and sent me an offer letter. And it was kind of just something I couldn't say no to, especially in this season of life where Anthony and I are planning and paying for our own wedding and hoping to possibly do like a big move after the wedding. It just seemed like this next year should really be the year of like, actually, I don't want to say figure out together like what we want, because I don't think it's something you figure out. I really think it's something that just like comes to you. Or at least that's how it works for me. But yeah, just kind of getting clear about like what we want the next step to be, because like we're getting married, and like once we're married, that feels like a big shift, like a big chapter that's closing and a new one is beginning, and then we'll be able to like step into that new season of life like best foot forward. So yeah, I really just couldn't say no to it. And it was obviously a hard decision because like Little Words has been great. It's a great company to work for. I got to work with a very close friend of mine, and we work very well together. Like we have a really good professional relationship as well as a friendship, and that was a really positive experience. And so it was very hard to like make the decision to leave, but also to tell her, because of course there is that fear in your mind, like, is this going to affect our friendship? And of course she was so gracious about it. She was like, I'm so excited for you. I would have done the same thing. Absolutely, don't worry about it. Our friendship is not affected, and like totally assuaged all of my anxiety. But yeah, it was really kind of hard and bittersweet. But again, this is how my life works. So
This is so exciting. I hope you know. This is
it's
crazy. Like if
exciting. It's happening very fast. And the reason everything is chaos and we had to postpone a week was because it was all coming together that week. And
yeah.
I have to move in less than a month.
Yeah.
Um,
Amazing.
so not only do I have to move, but I also have to find a place to live. So we have to find an apartment and I have to move in less than a month.
It's really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
And
I know it's probably overwhelming, but like you'll take it a day at a time. And like I
yeah.
feel like it's really funny because you guys are like, oh, maybe Anthony's gonna move to Orlando, maybe we're gonna do this, maybe we're gonna do that. And I feel like life was just like, this is the right thing. You can't say no.
Yeah. And I think that's how my
This is
life,
your step.
yeah, my life always works this way. And I think up until this point in my life, if I have decided to move somewhere or stay somewhere or do a job or whatever, it has been for me. There's been nobody else really involved. Now I'm factoring in somebody else. And that's a happy thing. Like I love being able to factor him in. I see that as a privilege, and he also sees it as a privilege. Like it's not a burden to have to be like, oh, now I have to think about what Anthony thinks about this decision. Like, no, he's also very supportive. And throughout this whole thing was like, whatever you want to do, we'll figure it out. Like this has to be your decision because it's impacting your life in a very huge way.
Mhm.
So having to factor him in and everything, the idea of him moving to Orlando was just hard for me because I couldn't see him being happy there. And I know that's not my decision to make, but I also think that the more I like did a deep dive into why I was feeling that way, I realized that it was because I have also been feeling like I've been outgrowing Orlando for a long time.
Yeah.
Um, probably like at least a couple of years now. And it's not that it's not a great place, and it's not that it's not super fun, and it's not that I don't have like a great group of friends there. Um, it's just that it was great for like the season that it was, and now as my priorities are shifting and I'm getting older, I'm like it's time to move on. And I know it doesn't sound like moving on if I'm moving back to the place that I'm from, but that's again like a stepping stone. And maybe I'm going to get back here and after the wedding be like, you know what, we're going to stay for another year. That's fine if that's what feels right. I'm very open to that. I'm also open to leaving if that's what feels right too. So I'm just trying to see it as like I'm only here for as long as I want to be. And that's kind of been like this driving mantra for the last several months for me when thinking about Orlando, even like I'm only here for as long as I want to be. It relieves a lot of the like stuck feeling that as an air sign I often feel in life. Like feeling stuck is crippling for me. You know, it's obviously going to be stressful like logistically for the next month or so, just getting everything done. I can still be back and forth a little bit because I will have a 4-day work week and 3 consecutive days off, which is amazing.
That's really
So
nice.
yeah. So I will still be able to pop back and forth to Orlando. So
Yay.
yeah. So I'm moving and we're planning a wedding and I'm starting a new job, and 2 of those things are happening in the next 4 weeks.
Oh my God.
I'm
Well,
I'm weirdly not as overwhelmed as Anthony is, which feels like a switch. Like he's like, there's just so much going on. I'm like, for you, like, no offense, babe, but you're staying in the same city where you already live and you're not
he's
switching
not
jobs.
he's not used to this energy that
He's
you are
not.
used to.
He's not. Poor thing. But he's like, this is just like a lot. We have to do this so quickly. I'm like, yeah, we'll figure it out. I'm so calm. I don't, and I can only chalk it up to like, I must be calm because I feel right about this and I know it's going to
Yeah.
work out because it's the right move. But yeah, I feel like okay, we're like going to look at apartments. I'm like, okay. And then we like don't like one we see, and I'm like, well, we'll find a better one. Just so chill about it.
It feels like, well, the way that it just like the timing to me, the way that I look at these things and the amount of stories I've heard of like
Mhm.
everything working out, like it's so obvious. Like this is
Yeah.
coming to you as like a checkpoint in your life. This is the next thing. Like this is universally orchestrated. And that's probably why you feel like you're human, I think, is probably like, oh my God, there's so much to do. But I feel like your knowing is like, yeah, this is the step.
But
So
also like so much to do always gets done.
it always
So
gets
when
done.
you walk into the Mexico Pavilion at Epcot, there's like, you know how it's like kind of Coco themed? There's like a sign on the wall when you walk in on the right that says "Hay más tiempo que vida," which means there's more time than life. And I,
Oh,
ever since I have seen that, like it lives in my head. And
ooh.
whenever I'm stressed or overwhelmed about how much I have to do in a day, at work, leading up to something, wedding planning, whatever it is, I literally am like, I must tiempo que vida. Like I tell myself that all the time
What
because
does it translate to again?
there's more time than life. Like
There's more
for
time than
however
life.
long your life is, there is like more time than you can imagine. So whatever you need to get done, like you will get it done. And how many times in my life do I also have evidence for that? Like I didn't think I was going to get that done and then I did. I thought that thing was going to break me and it didn't. You know what I mean? Like we just every experience is building evidence. Actually a therapist told me that once. Like every little win is just evidence that you keep in your
Yeah.
pocket and you pull it back out and you're like, hey, look at this thing. Remember that? Like it's like a seashell you get at the beach. Like, oh yeah, remember that time that we, did this thing and we didn't think it was going to work out and then it did. So I'm very just like zen about all of it. Like we're looking at apartments and it's fun. I'm enjoying it. Like apartments here
Yeah.
are so cool and weird and not like ones in Florida at all. All the Florida ones are so like standard. They all
Yes.
look the same. They're all like the same layout and the same building with like 600 units. And the ones here are like in old houses. So they have like cool fireplaces and like stained glass
Ooh.
windows on some of them. And like the wood floors from the 1920s that they refinished and like they're so cool. There's all these little nooks and crannies and I'm having so much fun like imagining like, oh, this is where we'll put the couch and like our little, bar cart can go over here and like, oh, this kitchen's great for having people over. And so it's been fun because this is the first time in our relationship where we've been able to like dream of life together.
Yeah, you get to live
I
together.
know
Like
it's
this is
so
this
fun.
is so exciting.
Like, come
I'm
roomie.
freaking out.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
so
so
excited.
excited. So it's so fun. And we've honestly like of course, it's Buffalo. Like people are so nice. Everyone we've met has been like so nice. Like some of the apartments, because we've kind of like, he has a couple non negotiables and so do I. And some of them have been like ticking almost all the boxes, but we haven't found one that's like everything yet. And maybe we won't because of our time crunch. I don't know. But we're also willing to like bend on a couple things too. Yeah, so apartment hunting is happening.
It's kind of the perfect time to record this episode because it's
It's
right
about to be
before.
chaos.
And then in the
Yeah,
next time we do it, it's gonna be like, all right, we figured it
I
out.
know. I'll be like, I'm in my apartment. So yeah, it's gonna
Aw.
be bittersweet for sure. Yeah, I just feel really good about it. And I feel like I'm doing it for the right reasons. And like you said, like everything's happening like to not easily, like this is still gonna be a lot of work, but it's all coming together really well. And I think that's because it's what I'm supposed to do next. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think when things flow like that, like we forget sometimes like it is allowed to be easy, like in the
oh,
sense of everything lining up. And
yeah.
I feel like when it's right, for lack of a better term, like that's when you're like, okay, I'm just gonna keep showing up, taking the inspired action. Okay, show up, do the next thing. And it's just coming together. And I'm just glad you guys are gonna be in the same place. Like that's been a whole, how's this gonna work out? Because I feel like the conversation for so long has been how, like, how is this going to come together? We have all these ideas, and now the timing, like it came to you. You didn't go out and chase anything, which I think is
Yeah.
really cool.
It's so funny though, because at like the end of March, I want to say, I told Anthony, like he had come to visit me for a few days in Orlando, and I was like, I just want to be in Buffalo for the summer. Like, I don't know how to make this happen. And he's like, how are we going to do that? You just got this job, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know how. I just want to be in Buffalo for the summer. I was like, I don't know how to make this happen. I just am telling you what I want. Like, I'm just speaking it out loud. I think I literally said that. I'll have to go back through our text thread. But then all this happened and I was like, dang, I really like manifested too close to the sun there.
Heck yeah, we love it. We
I
love to
wanted
see
summer in
it.
Buffalo and I got a whole ass job about it. I
Amy
got
would
a
be so proud.
I got a full-time situation.
I love that. I feel
I
like
just
after we recorded that rediscover episode, the manifesting one with Amy, like forever ago, I
Mhm.
feel like so much clicked for you, like
Yeah.
in that realm. And now you're like seeing all these full circles and like
Yeah. I honestly
noticing all of the loops. And
yeah.
it's so cool.
Oh, closing the loops is like my favorite little catchphrase. Anthony's probably triggered if he's listening right now. Yeah, I feel like it's been rediscover in general though, because I feel like this has been such an intentional space for you and I to unpack just life. Like we talk about,
Mhm.
we always like do these life updates, like what's going on, but then we sort of like take a moment to look at like what that means. You know what I mean? What that looks like, what it is doing for us. Like every month at Little Words, we get to pick a bracelet. Like we get to pick a new one every month for us to
Oh,
have.
that's
And
so nice.
we can make our own. Like you get basically a certain amount of beading time every month, but then you get to pick an actual like pre-made bracelet. And so we released this collection called Love Struck. It is so Bridgerton vibes. If you are into, definitely look at it online. But there's these like cute like flower beads and pearls and stuff, and
Oh,
it
that's so
says
pretty.
grow. And I picked it because I think that like choosing to do this is also big time growth for me because I said I would never do this again. And growth just means being open to proving yourself wrong.
You grow, girl.
Grow, girl. And what a great little springtime mantra.
I
Um,
love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. This is, I feel like sometimes we like to save our big news to drop on Rediscover
mhm.
because this is our girl time. This is like
Yeah.
a chat with the girlies.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's what Rediscover's turned into. And
Yeah.
I love like the raw reactions and the excitement that we get to experience during
Like
the
when you
episodes.
dropped that you were engaged on Rediscover.
I know, it's so fun.
This podcast is low key iconic. No, but genuinely, like this has been such a platform of introspection and like this really intentional time to just sit with things that are happening. That means that when you come back to the States in the fall,
Oh my gosh,
we can record in person.
I am going to have my friend there. She will
Yeah.
not be in Orlando.
She will not be in Orlando. She will be here and she will have
Yay.
3 day weekends. So
Oh, hell yeah.
it's
Good life.
gonna be great. We can work on wedding planning stuff together. It'll be fun.
Oh my gosh, all of the planning. But well, that's great. This is great news. I'm really happy for you and just I liked I like when life does its thing and you're just like, oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a
It's
fun
so good.
time. And like this is your pre-wedding, pre-getting married era. And you always look back on these times, like I feel like my parents and my aunts and uncles and, that age group at this point, like they look back on this time of their life and like will tell stories from this time.
Yeah.
And I think that's a cool story that, you'll be telling like, oh, how did you end up where you are now? Well,
Mhm.
this,
Yeah.
I was living here and then this happened and, you know, everything stacks up. And it's like we were saying, it's good evidence to see how everything falls together,
Mhm.
even when you don't have control over it or know how it's going to work out. It just sort of does.
Yeah.
I saw this TikTok yesterday and I need to send it to you actually, but it was about how like the girl was basically just talking. She's like, what if everything's actually okay? Like, what if you're just so used to having to like figure it out, but
Yeah.
like the only thing that's wrong is that you're addicted to trying to figure it out and everything is actually okay. And I listened to this and I was like, that is the most comforting thing I've ever heard. I'm literally going to send it to you. We'll link it in the show notes. Like this TikTok hit. Um, but
Yeah.
that's been my big lesson lately too. Like this year particularly, like because I was doing so much reflection on, 30 and now turning 31. And I'm like, that's been the lesson is like just letting things be, accepting things how they are, and enjoying so deeply the moment right now. because everything changes all the time. Like that's the one constant, is that everything is changing. So
Mhm.
like even if it's not as it is, just like being with it for the time that it
Mhm.
is such a gift. And then it moves and changes and morphs naturally over time. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the takeaway.
I love that. Yeah, and even if it seems like the timing is inconvenient, like obviously it seems on the surface inconvenient that like, and I joke about it, like I got a job and then like not even 3 months later I have to leave said job. So that's obviously, you know, inconvenient for a lot of people, specifically the people who have to like replace me and all that. But at the same time, like if it's meant to be, everything works out and everything that is like a side effect of that thing also works out. Like it will just all kind of ripple
I
effect
will
work out.
I like to think of it this way. The fact that you're leaving that job is like now somebody else is going to come into that job and it's going to up level their life. And like
Mhm.
it's going to be such a huge blessing to this person that is going to fill that space for
Yeah.
you. And then you're going to have the blessing of being, near your fiance and in this new position and
Mhm.
all those things. And, you know, the like that could the person who comes into your old role, it might have a domino effect in their life or something like that. Like it's gonna set everybody up. Like everybody's kind of a little pawn in this
Mhm.
whole structure. And
Yeah.
it's really cool. And it
Yeah,
all happens right on time.
it does. So, before we get on to important business to do with Her Majesty Taylor Swift, if you're not subscribed to Jess's YouTube channel, keep listening to this and open your YouTube app and do it because that's where you'll find out where she's going next.
Yeah.
And ooh, subscribe to her. Sorry, I'm like plugging your stuff, but her broadcast channel on Instagram because that's really fun and cute. And she sends you voice notes.
I love it. It's like a little text group, you
Yeah,
know?
it really is like a little group chat. It feels like intimate and cute.
Yeah. I
So
love the group chat
do that.
vibe.
I will link them both in the show notes.
Also, I think I posted this on Instagram, but I haven't talked about it with you yet, but I'm revamping my blog actually and making it's going to be so cool. I'm really excited. So I'm moving it from WordPress over to Squarespace, which
Okay.
is a very exciting move because WordPress has been good. It served me well, but it ended up just being so much more complicated over
Mm,
time. And everyone's like, you should be on WordPress. You have so much more flexibility, blah, 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 which is great. But like, I'm just a girl with a
just a
blog.
girl.
So, like, just a girl with a blog. So, like, I like the simplicity, but I moved it over to Squarespace and I'm making it like a travel resource hub.
Mhm.
So, I am having all the different places we've been to with all of the places and like not itineraries, but like a list of all of the restaurants or the
Oh,
activities or
yeah.
whatever. So when people are like, hey, I'm going to Cape Town, I can be like, great, here's my website page. Um, it's
That's great.
amazing. It's so fun and so great. I'm really excited. It's still under construction. It's gonna take me a little longer than I thought because I just have so much stuff to do. But I've
Yeah.
done a lot of it already and it's looking so good. So
Mhm.
just plugging that to let you guys know
I
if you're
have,
trying to go to my website ever,
yeah,
it's kind of down right now, but we're revamping. It's
I have
exciting.
been so not on social media lately. It is probably at an all-time low screen time because
That's great.
like life is just occurring and I am like
Life is lifing.
time. Basically the app that I'm on the most lately is Zillow. So but that's awesome and I'm so excited.
Yeah, I like the organization of it and the simplicity. I know that's why I was like, I can't keep up with all of these platforms and writing blog posts
Yeah,
about every specific thing. So let's just make lists because that's what people actually
they want
can
the
use.
resource. Yeah.
Yeah, and thinking from my perspective, I just want the list. I love the stories. I love like, the heart and soul that goes into it, but at the end of the day, I just want to know where to go, what to
Yeah.
do, the personal recs. So, we're putting
But
them together.
and at the same time, like you can have that story and that sort of like narrative style when you like watch the vlogs because you get that feel in the vlogs. It's definitely more like
Yes.
experiential and like you're there But then when you actually just want the resources, they're all in one place. And so it's freeing you up to be able to like devote more time to like be creative in that way, but also to like provide the information that people are looking for. So I think it's really
Yeah.
smart.
And you can link both of them to each other. So you can
Right.
put the vlog like right on the page and link the website page in the vlog. So
Yeah.
it's all coming together. It's really
Love it.
it's fun. I feel like this was just my dream years ago, was being able to
Literally.
do like the travel blog
Yeah.
vlog thing, and it's
Yeah.
happening. It's really fun. At the end of the day, like I love helping like plan trips and the
Mhm.
travel aspect, but I don't know. I think the thing that I really love about this whole realm of everything is like the creativity and the experience, and like
Mhm.
the personal growth is actually more fulfilling than like going to like a specific place, you know what I
Right.
mean? Or like being able to share something that I learned to make somebody's experience more joyful.
Right.
Um, like Isabel, you know, right?
Mhm.
She messaged me and was like, "Where's that place that you went in Germany? I'm in Frankfurt right now. I'm not really feeling the vibe. I'm, you know, I remember you going somewhere really cute." So I got to send her to Rothenburg, and
Oh,
she reorganized her plans to go out to Rothenburg for the day. And it, if you guys remember when we were there, it's like a medieval town. It
yeah.
feels like Pinocchio's village house. It's very, very quintessential what you would envision for Germany. And she got to go there, and she went to the lookout point that I was able to tell her about. And she was like, "It felt like a fairy tale. All of your recommendations were amazing. I went to the cafe. I did this. I did that." And I'm like,
Aw.
that is so special, because I feel like we just discovered this little corner of the
Mhm.
world and then got to share it. And then somebody else got to have that experience because we shared it, you know, and
Yeah.
that is so cool to me. It again, like how how our lives all intertwine with each other and the domino effect. And it's just really cool. So yeah, just the growth of that and being able to experience something and then share it with people is
Yeah.
really what's cool.
So special, especially when it is like a tiny corner of the world or like some obscure like hidden gem thing that
Yeah. You wouldn't know about it.
you wouldn't necessarily know about, and the like more mainstream travel resources don't necessarily highlight those things, and it feels like the best of both worlds of like somebody who travels a lot and who absolutely like knows what they're doing and is a credible source of information like yourself, but also like more personal and more like, hey, our priorities are to like find like unique things and make memories experientially and like walk away having learned something or like experience something that goes deeper than just like that was fun, and that's I think like
Yeah.
where your approach to travel is really unique.
Yeah. I just love it. I love this journey. I feel like there's just been just so much evolvement and growth, and who knows what's happening in life. And it's just like you just kind of get to see it all unfold and experience new things. Like the amount of things that we've experienced just in 2024, it's like mind blowing and
Yeah.
so cool. And I feel things I've never felt before. You know what I mean? Just like, wow, like I
Yeah.
can do this, or I never thought I would see this or experience this or go here or,
Yeah.
you know, do any of this. So it's really cool.
And to be able
So
to
thanks for coming on the
maintain,
journey.
oh yeah, to be able to maintain that level of like excitement. And I think I said that to you on your birthday. Like that joie de vivre that you have is like unmatched. But that's always been something I've loved about you. Like even when we first became friends, like you're just excited about life all the time. And that energy is so infectious. And the fact that you have seen so many amazing places and you're not like jaded. You're not like, yeah, whatever. That's kind of cool, I guess. Like every time you go somewhere new, you're like ready and open for whatever that place is going to bring you. And I think that that's like the childlike thing that we always talk about, just being like open to whatever is going to blow your mind next. And I'm always excited for your perspective for that reason. So
Thank you. Yeah, I still wake up every day. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm here.
it's so
And
cool.
I've said that for every single place. I'll never I'll never comprehend, but
Yeah.
very, very thankful and excited all the time.
And
So,
Steven's 100% that way too. Like,
oh my God, even if you think
even
I'm like
more
this,
so.
he's even more. Yeah, which
Yeah.
is an amazing energy to have
Yeah.
because you're just like, you just play off of each other in that way all
Yeah.
the
You
time.
two
So
are destined to be together.
we're so funny. So today it was raining. And I'm like, wow, it's so beautiful outside. And he's like, wow, the rain is so beautiful. I'm like, I love that we're a couple that looks outside at
Yep.
like a really quote unquote like gross weather day. And we're like, wow, this is beautiful. Like that's how we look at everything.
Mhm.
Like the contrast of everything, we find enjoyment in it or beauty in
Mhm.
it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's how I want to live my life. That is the goal. I want to always find an aspect of it that is enjoyable or
Mm.
beautiful or admirable. Because everything is really so intricately designed
Mhm.
and awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just feeling really reflective
Yeah.
around
How
508
very
time.
Taurusy of you to
It's
just
very Taurusy. Yeah,
ground
always looking for the
yourself.
beauty. Yeah.
No, I love it. I have so many Tauruses in my life, like the dearest people to me, specifically like women, like you, my sister. I have so many of these people, and I need it because I'm an air sign floating around like la la la, and they're like, come back down, sit with it for a moment, reflect, and it's good.
I love
Good
Taurus
energy to
energy. It
have,
is so
and that is
good.
like a good perspective to have going into this move. Is like just find like beauty in the contrast. That's a really great perspective. I think
Yeah,
that
and
will
just like
be.
I get to do this. I get to find a new apartment. I get to pack up my stuff and reorganize. I get to
Mhm.
like I like that sentence of like
Yeah.
I get to do this,
Yeah.
which, you
That's
know,
such a powerful reframe for sure.
oh my gosh, it's because it makes it so much more
And
exciting.
it's literally a one word change out, right? I have to do this is
Yeah.
like stress and overwhelm and anxiety. I get to do this is excitement and determination and perspective and like
A
joy,
privilege and opportunity.
gratitude.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So that's so cool.
All right, so we have to talk about the Tortured Poets Department because that is the brand new Taylor Swift album. Today actually is the day after Paris Night 1, which in the Swiftie community we all know as the day she changed so many things in the Eras tour.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in the Swiftie world, but
Yes.
I know some of you guys were, I got a few DMs asking about Tortured Poets thoughts. So we got to go into it
We
for
do.
sure.
We do. I
Uh,
know. I saw Krista post about some of the set changes. Very sad that she took out the Archer because I love that song and I love
yeah.
Lover. And very sad she took out Long Live because that feels like every like Disney kids like happy song. So
That's the one song because I'm like, okay, I'm here for some new stuff. Like, I want to see
Mhm.
the new album, of course. Like, that's so exciting. But I feel like Long Live is about this whole environment. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Long Live is about her connecting with her fans and long live this legacy and like this whole thing that we've got going on.
Yeah.
So I was shocked that she brought it in like after the fact and then she took it out. So
Yeah.
that's strange to me. I feel like there were other songs that we could have cut instead of that one. Yeah, that was really the one that I was like, ah, darn. But I am
Yeah.
excited about the new additions for sure.
I get that she had to do it. Obviously, she can't have like a 6 hour long concert. Like, I get that we have to make cuts. Um,
Yes.
what were your like initial thoughts?
Yes, let's talk about this. So my initial thoughts on the album. So I am a glitter gel pen song girly. So obviously Tortured Poets is not that. It's very feather pen.
I
So
love that
or
analogy.
quill pen.
Glitter gel
Yeah.
pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like feather quill pen energy or glitter gel pen energy, which
Mm,
is my favorite metaphor for Taylor Swift's music because
love
it
that.
makes sense because
Mhm.
she had those are her styles. But
Yeah.
so Tortured Poets is very um it's more on the like mature, poetic, um, like slower side, which I still really enjoy. Like I love everything Taylor Swift does. But, at first honestly, my first impression was that I was very overwhelmed, just because there was so much to process, but very exciting because I think younger me was dying for an album this long. Like
Yeah.
when I remember when Reputation came out and it was whatever, 13, 15 songs, I was
Mhm.
like, I need more. Like, I wish there was more. I have to wait so long.
31 songs, y'all.
31 songs to digest. So I sat down for 2 hours straight and read the lyrics and listened to every one. So first impressions was I Can Do It With a Broken Heart was my favorite song and still is to this day.
Mine too.
Yep. Best song on the
It
album.
hits so hard.
It hits so hard. Thank God it's on the set list. Once I saw I Can Do It With a Broken Heart was on the set list, I was like, I don't care about anything else. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Other top favorites right off the bat was So Long London was the other favorite that
Oh
I
my gosh,
had.
same.
We got taste. We got taste. And then, so those were like my top two, top tier. And I think they're still sitting up there. But I also love So High School because it's like very cute Travis Kelce song.
Mhm.
Love that. Down Bad. I really like that song.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe. I just think Down Bad crying at the gym is just like so funny. Like, honestly, same. And what was the other ones? I like Tortured Post Department, just like the title track. I think that one's very good. And I feel like Peter also, like the Peter
Mhm.
Pan comparison as a Disney girly, that
Yeah.
hits. But overall, the album it's really grown on me a lot. I think at first I was like, oh my God, I don't know what song is which. They're all blending together. My friend Colin actually recommended shuffling it, which I think is what changed it for me because I was like, okay, I'm starting to distinguish what song is what because when they're all together, that's obviously her intention and it flows really well. But when you're first listening to it, I'm like, it's almost so flowy that I
Yeah.
don't know which song is what. So
Yeah.
shuffling was helpful. And now I'm like, okay, we've got it down. But
Mhm.
yeah, overall, still digesting and learning. Like, I don't really know the words to pretty much anything except
I
most of the
know.
choruses.
I
But
was gonna say, I think we're all in that boat. Like we're all still like I feel the same way. I'm like I've listened to this so many times and I don't feel like I know like more than maybe two of the songs and it's just the two that like resonated with me the most. I definitely also felt overwhelmed. I definitely remember like the first time I listened through, I was like, I don't know. Like I'm not necessarily always a glitter gel pen girly because I do love folklore. Like it is in my top three. It's beautiful. It's beautifully written. She is as on her game songwriting wise as she ever was, if not better. I definitely think this one has like been harder for people to receive. Like it's obviously received a bunch of criticism, which anything she does always does, but it's taken us a little while to like get into a groove as a collective with it. Sorry,
yeah,
having
and this album's just not for the general public. Like
it's not.
it's like her telling us, like the Swifties and
It's
like the
more
people who have
yeah.
followed her, like the story, it's not gonna be hitting the charts in the general public in that
Yeah.
sense, even though it still was,
I
getting
know. Yeah, I
breaking
was gonna say
streams,
it
but
still will.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
more
yeah.
intimate though, for sure. I
It
think
is intimate and personal and like kind
yeah.
of messy.
I love the like play on grammar almost that she uses for So Long London. But I think that and I Can Do It With a Broken Heart were my only like instant love songs. Like the rest of them, I
Same.
was like, oh, I'm gonna have to muscle through this for a while in order to love it. And like I know that I'll get there because that's how I actually felt with Evermore, except for a couple of songs. Like Evermore, for whatever reason, took me a while to love. And
Yeah, same.
I love But Daddy, I Love Him. Obviously, when that track title like was leaked or released or whatever, I was like, oh my God, it's gonna be a Little Mermaid song. And of course it's not,
It's
but
not, I
it
know.
it does have that old Taylor Swift energy. Like it feels like her first album a little bit.
Okay, so on that, there actually, to refer to TikTok again, there was this girl who did a cover of But Daddy, I Love Him and Fortnite in the style of her like old country like
Oh, that's
genre, and
cool.
it's so good. I'm actually pissed that it's not real because
Yeah.
I'll have to send these to you as well.
Yes, please
I
do.
actually listened to like the Fortnite one on loop because I was like, this is hitting so hard. It's so good.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, okay, I really want
Yeah.
a country album someday.
I
Please make it
know.
again.
Especially in the summertime and make it a bunch of glitter gel pen songs, please and thank you.
I need some glitter gel pen.
Yeah. I think The Bolter is really good. I
Yes.
think Peter, obviously, for every Disney kid was important. I know a lot of
Mhm.
people love The Black Dog. I liked The Albatross more.
The line in the prophecy about like, I don't want money, I just want someone who loves me, or whatever that line
Yeah.
is, like, even now being in a very loving relationship, like, I remember feeling that.
It's definitely not like you're vibing, like listening with the windows down. And I just think like if this album had come out in like November or January, I'd be much more like, yeah, this is what I want to listen to. But like this time of year, I want like fun music that I could listen to with my windows down kind of thing. And that's not to say that it's not good. And Florida is so fucking funny. And I love all the TikToks of alligators that have been put to this song.
Oh my God.
Have you seen it? All the people using that song for like their CPs and stuff, like the castle
Yes.
and flamingo crossing and all their little like fun experiences. And then there was one that it was just an alligator like crawling up someone's driveway. And it was just like,
Yeah.
Florida. It's just, I was in tears.
That's
Um,
so
so
good.
funny. I
It's so
also love
true.
Florence and the Machine. I mean, she is awesome. Her voice is just really cool. But yeah, I think so many of these songs, like I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. I think
Yeah.
because she released them back to back, like so much gets lost.
Yeah. I kind of love it because I feel like I get to rediscover it over time.
That's true.
Because I think that's the thing with the more straightforward albums. I'm like, okay, I know every single one, and that's
Mhm.
that. But
That's
like, I think I'll have layers to listening to this album. Like, I'll have favorites now, but then, like you were saying, like when it gets to be fall time and it gets to be more like
mhm.
cozy wind down, let's sit in our feels time, I'm gonna have a whole new list of songs that I just really
Right.
get into. Overall, like, again, I'm always going to love Taylor Swift. I will always support everything she does. I do think it's probably Evermore and this one are probably at the bottom of my list, but
Mhm.
I think that's fair to say. But that doesn't mean I don't like them. I
Yeah.
love them. And I have songs on both albums that I really love. And I think, I mean, if nothing else, I Can Do It With a Broken Heart makes this whole album for me. Like, I love that
Yeah.
song
It's
so
so
much.
good. It's
I've
definitely
been singing, I'm so depressed I act like it's my birthday
yeah.
every day. Like Steven's like, what is going
Are
on?
you though? Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely not gonna be a favorite. And I knew that like pretty immediately. But I also think that like seasons of life, right? I'm in a lover era. That kind of glitter gel pen vibe is like resonating more with the season of life that I'm in right now.
Yeah. And like for anybody who's not in that kind of era, then this album might be
Yeah.
perfect for that. Even when I'm not in this sort of vibe, I still appreciate the songs. I can resonate to old parts of myself. I feel like old parts of myself get healed through this
Yeah,
music.
that's how I felt about this album, honestly. Like I was listening to
Yeah.
some of these songs and like I Can Do It With a Broken Heart made me think of, you know, performing at Disney and literally having to be like, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so smiley. Let's talk about my prince. And then
Yeah.
walking off set and just like sobbing. Like that just felt like it hit that part of me and like took that me by the hand and was like, hey, yeah, you're not the only one who's had to do this. So it
Yeah.
felt like really resonant with an old part of me. But the good news is there's a Taylor Swift album era song for literally anything you're going through. So
Yeah. I love too, like how she wrote on when she released the album, she wrote about how this was, revisiting old parts of herself, and she's not in
mhm.
that chapter
Yeah,
anymore.
the
Like I
caption was
feel
beautiful.
the caption was so well written. I was taken aback. I loved it. I thought it was so perfect. And I love that the album ended with the manuscript. Like, I literally feel like this was such a closing the book on a lot of stuff in my
Yeah.
life and moving forward type
Yeah.
album because she's had a lot to process.
Mhm.
And I think it also shows what stage in her career she's in that she can just release an album like this that's 31 songs long. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we'll end for today. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you so much. It was I think a pretty grounding episode, but definitely lots of exciting stuff coming up.
Yeah, this was a fun episode. We got some like juicy stuff going on here.
Yeah.
This is exciting.
It's a good month.
Yeah. Heading into summer.
And you know what comes next?
Gemini season.
Gemini season.
Oh my gosh. Here we go.
I love how my Gemini season is already chaotic and it hasn't even started yet. It's very exciting.
Yeah. And last year's Gemini episode was crazy. I don't think we'll be able to top that. So no expectations, but you never know.
Oh gosh, it was crazy. I was trying to remember. That's wild. Yeah. Last Gemini season, I lost my job.
Yeah.
Crying a little bit. Are you happy to be in France?
Everybody at the Eras tour right now.
I'm gonna go now.
We're gonna go. Have a wonderful rest of your day, your evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Yeah, enjoy your May. Happy Taurus season. Love you all. Thank you for listening.
We'll see you in June. Buckle up.
We'll talk to you next time.
They're coming out.
Oh boy. We'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Outro, take 1.
Thank you for joining us. Oh, hold on.
Outro, take 2.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Rediscover.
If you haven't already subscribed, hit that button and join the Rediscover fam.
Come back on the first Tuesday of every month for brand new episodes.
If you're like us and you have opinions about everything, leave us a review on Apple or Spotify. Your positivity inspires our creativity, and we love hearing from you.
Follow us on Instagram at Jessica Faye 508 and positively.kristen.
And check out Jess's blog at theroadjesstraveled with 1l.com.
Until next time, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye!